Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another weather forecast here by Agents Weather Forecast. And this is going to be a video here discussing why this week can be seen extreme severe weather, specifically for Dixie Alley mid this week. Really watching Tuesday, late Tuesday for the portions of the southern plains there, into Wednesday into Thursday, really as well watching much of the southeast, including Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, those general regions there in Dixie Alley. So we're really watching any really from Tuesday to basically the end of Thursday. So pretty widespread potential events throughout the next few days, mid this week into the later end of the week. So we gotta really watch out because the SPC already had a 30% chance for day 4. So we're gonna really watch out specifically for Wednesday into Thursday for the big severe weather event here. But before we get in the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new. Hit the like button if you enjoy content like this, and as well hit the bell icon if you have not already done so you can get notified as soon as I do a video. But without further ado, let's get into the forecast. So here we're looking at the European here, see what they show for the next few days. So this is a look now into tomorrow evening. So we are going to be seeing some severe storms throughout the afternoon as a result to this major winter storm. There you get the low pressure. You got that cold air up into a canopy with the high pressure, bring that very cold air, allowing for any precipitation, mainly west or north of that low pressure, to be snow. But where we have those warmer temperatures and humid atmosphere, we're going to be seeing some severe storms developing, specifically around the south central and portions of the Ozarks throughout tomorrow afternoon to the evening. However, we only have a marginal risk, so it shouldn't be too shabby. But getting to Tuesday, those severe weather risk will start to become a bit more widespread towards the east here into portions of Dixie Alley and Alabama, portions of western Georgia. We can see some severe storms developing throughout Tuesday. However, that's going to be mainly more of a flooding threat out of anything really. It won't be too shabby. But getting to Wednesday is kind of when that big severe weather event's going to start to begin. So to Wednesday here, we do have a big, large, slight risk across portions. We're actually getting to Tuesday evening. Throughout Tuesday into early Wednesday, we have a slight risk for portions of the south central there. We will see some severe storms later far Tuesday evening to early Wednesday, and then later into much of Wednesday evening here, we will start to see that severe weather really becoming a bigger threat there into Dixie Alley, and that's going to possibly we'll be seeing our biggest severe storms into Wednesday evening across portions of the Dixie Alley, and that will last even into Thursday. Severe storms really developing across portions of the southeast there, Alabama, portion of the Gulf Coast there in far southern Mississippi, Alabama, stretching all the way up to portions of northern Georgia. So it's going to be more of a big flooding threat for the areas up in the mid-Atlantic there in Ohio Valley. But going to really watch out for severe weather all the way in these general regions here, specifically these regions. However, I think the worst of the severe weather can probably kind of stick around in these areas really. So got to really watch out for the severe weather, specifically if you're in like Birmingham, if you're in Jackson, Mississippi, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, if you're in upper Louisiana, if you're even as well, even southern Mississippi and southern Alabama. I'm going to really recommend you guys stay on your tippy toes throughout this week, specifically into Wednesday, from Wednesday into Thursday. We're going to be seeing some pretty severe storms throughout, mainly Wednesday afternoon, I guess Wednesday evening, all the way up until lasting into Thursday. So this is look now at the day 3 outlook here for the SPC, or from the SPC, looking at Tuesday, looking at 12Z from Tuesday to 12Z of Wednesday. As you see, pretty widespread margin risk, including around 16.5 million people, including Dallas there, including Memphis, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Kansas City, and Arlington. So if you're in that dark green, you are in the level 1 out of 5. On the category Outlook Legend, and you see we are going to be seeing some severe storms. Going to be most likely going to be mainly a wind threat and some hail. But in the slight risk, that's where we have a higher probability for that severe weather and possibly where the worst bit will maintain. So again, this is kind of Tuesday into Wednesday. We're going to be seeing that slight risk in place for portions of southeastern Kansas there, portions of western Arkansas and western Missouri, and as well much of Oklahoma and far northern Texas. The worst bit's going to really most likely be in the Ozarks here. Generally in the Ozarks, portions of southern Mississippi, northern Arkansas, northern Oklahoma, and portions of far southern Kansas. And that includes 6.6 million people in that slight risk level 2. And it includes big cities like Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Norman, Oklahoma, and as well Lawton, Oklahoma. But now getting into the day 4 outlook here. As you see, we are going to be seeing more widespread threat here. Kind of see maintaining areas like southern Alabama, much of Mississippi, actually the whole state of Mississippi, basically, much of eastern Louisiana, and as well portions of far eastern Arkansas and far southwestern Tennessee. So that 30% chance is going to mainly be looking at an enhanced risk, possibly, and who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't doubt if there actually will be possibly even a moderate risk. However, again, that's a little excessive, but as of now, it looks like there will be an enhanced risk as of now when the day 3 outlook comes out tomorrow. So this 30% chance is really widespread here. That includes here 9.3 million people here, and that's going to be of course, lasting between Wednesday 12Z to Thursday 12Z, so mainly to much of Wednesday to Thursday. And it's going to be really risking areas like Memphis, like New Orleans, Birmingham, Baton Rouge, Montgomery, as you see the whole state of Mississippi. So I'm really watch out for areas like Alabama and Mississippi here. And then that 15% chance is widespread across the general southeastern portion of Dixie Alley, almost all of Dixie Alley, basically, of 14.2 million people there, and that 15% chance. Nashville, Shreveport, Columbus, Georgia, Little Rock, and Huntsville. And that kind of be even a bigger threat now, getting into, or not a bigger threat, but I guess more towards the east for day 5. That 15% chance when I'm moving to portions of the southeast coast here, portions of southern areas like southern Georgia, northern Alabama, or not northern Alabama, northern Florida, but really watching out for day 4 here. So I'm really going to be concerned for areas like Mississippi there, as well even central and southern Alabama, and as well portions of far northeastern Louisiana. Kind of really watching out for these areas in general, and I would not rule out the possibility if a moderate does get issued for some of these areas here between this 30% chance, within that 30% chance for most likely if a moderate is issued, it most likely be for day 2 when it's 2 days out. But I wouldn't be shocked if there were a moderate risk, but I also would not be shocked if there wouldn't be one issue. But I'm going to really be watching out for hail and as well even some tornadoes. I do think this will be our first big event for Dixie Alley, or at least our first widespread event for Dixie Alley for the severe weather season. So we're going to start looking at the conditions here and why this severe weather event or these severe weather events are likely between Tuesday into Thursday. So getting the highs on Tuesday, so kind of going to be watching out on Tuesday portions of the Ozarks there in the South Central. We're going to be seeing some very warm temperatures here, widespread 70s and as well upper 60s there. And as you see, going to really be watching out areas like the Ozarks there, upper Oklahoma, portions of upper Arkansas, even southern Missouri. You can kind of see we're going to be seeing some between the 60s there to the lower 70s. So definitely worthy of, I guess, allowing for some severe weather. Obviously, it won't be extremely severe like we saw yesterday in Texas, but we will definitely be seeing some hail reports and maybe some severe storms. However, it's going to be very limited, which is kind of why we only have a slight risk. But these temperatures can start really warming up across portions of Dixie Alley, getting some 70s there and almost 80 degrees there in Louisiana, getting some mid 70s there into Mississippi, and now getting to even now the highs on Wednesday are going to get quite warm here. I'm going to be really watching out for Wednesday, these general regions here. As you see, almost 80 degrees there in Mississippi there. Seeing some widespread 70s across between Alabama and Louisiana. That's kind of something I'm really watching out for. But getting later into Thursday, those temperatures will be quite warm, specifically, of course, in the southeastern coast, and that's why I'll kind of be watching out. 15% chance there in these general regions there, but really be watching out areas like Montgomery, Birmingham, Jackson, Tupelo, areas as well as Alexandria, Monroe, even all into areas as well into like far southern Arkansas. I'll be really watching out for these general regions here, specifically on Wednesday. This temperature can be very favorable for severe weather development, and those really warm temperatures will be allowing for some higher Cape values here for the overday heating. But Wednesday, Cape values early Wednesday, they're gonna start seeing some really I guess some higher numbers there, over 2,000 joules per kilogram there in south central Texas, and that's going to be gradually increasing over the day into Wednesday here, or at least the early half of the day of Wednesday there, going to possibly reach over 3,500 joules per kilogram across far northern Texas, and those Cape values can be going all the way into areas like Georgia here, but we're going to be seeing some decent numbers across Louisiana as well, even Mississippi. We can get over between 1,000 to 2,000 joules per kilogram outside in those areas. But now getting to later Wednesday afternoon and evening, these cape values will now move more towards Dixie Alley. They're going to get some really good values, 2,500 to even 3,000 across spotty areas across Alabama, southern Mississippi. You can possibly get near 4,000 joules per kilogram, and even as well into southern Louisiana. So these are kind of the areas we're going to be watching for this severe weather development. And then we'll have those lower or those higher cape values now moving towards the east there, 500, maybe 1,000 joules per kilogram. That's kind of what we only have a 15% chance looking for day 5, but day 4 is definitely going to be quite significant. Another reason is not only the temperatures and the higher cape, but as well the shear is a perfect scenario here. So getting to Tuesday, that shear is going to be quite impressive, or not impressive, but quite impactful across portions of the south central. The shear would definitely be in place and definitely going to show the appearance. But now getting into Wednesday, that shear is going to continue to increase more towards Dixie Alley there. So going to really watch out for Alabama, Mississippi, as well, specifically as well northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas. And now getting later into Wednesday evening, these storms this year, actually the higher shear will kind of stay more towards the north in Tennessee and Kentucky. So we may see some spotty storms if the temperatures are right in those regions. And then it would kind of back off by Thursday, really by Thursday evening. This year's going to really be minimum across Dixie Alley and southeast. So really going to be after really day 4, getting to Thursday and to Friday, it's going to be really kind of die off. And then another reason for why this event can occur is the moisture is going to be there. I mean, it's going to be present, so it's not going to be dry. So we're looking at very multiple reasons why this event can occur here, but we'll have a lot more once we get closer. But to early Tuesday, you can kind of see that moisture coming off the Gulf Coast there. It's going to gradually make its way more towards the north here. Obviously, get that low pressure in this general region here, bringing all this moisture kind of towards the east here. And it's going to be very present to early Wednesday, the early half there. That's kind of where we see that severe weather across the Ozarks and portions of the South Central in general. So Ozarks, really upper Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, and far southwestern Missouri, and then kind of more towards Dixie Alley. We're kind of start to see that moisture be a lot more present. And that's going to be perfect because by the later half of Wednesday, that's kind of when that severe weather occurs in Dixie Alley, and it's definitely going to be present as well even early Thursday morning. That's going to be the most amount of moisture is going to stick around to northern Georgia, portions of South Carolina, and as well northern Alabama. But there's going to be plenty enough moisture throughout much of Dixie Alley to produce some very widespread storms. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and bye guys.